why is it that you guys were so unprepared for the need for testing after the holidays?
Well, Peter, I'm happy to see you back and well. I would second say that there has been a massive surge in cases, as you know, and we're a part of, in DC and New York. And there's been an unprecedented, and other parts of the country as well, there's been an unprecedented demand for tests. So what we have done over the course of the last few weeks, even before that, is the president quadrupled our testing capacity since the summer. We opened 20,000 sites across the country, and we have also opened additional federal sites, including one in DC only recently. He's also provided, we've also in the process of sending 50 million tests out to community health centers and rural health centers. And now we're in the process of finalizing contracts for 500 million tests.
That was Fox News' Peter Doocy there probing the White House press secretary on why COVID tests are so hard to come by. Similar to Australia, the United States saw rapid antigen tests hard to get your hands on, or obtaining a spot in line for a PCR test quite difficult. The Fox reporter points out that he himself had COVID and he followed the president's advice by Googling COVID tests near me, but there was nothing available. It was a similar tune being sung here in Australia over our Christmas period when our cases were high and our wait times were incredibly long. Peter Doocy questions Jen Psaki on why the Biden administration was so underprepared with testing after the holiday period. Well, Jen Psaki says the demand was higher with the increase of the Omicron cases, and they've put measures in place to get testing into those areas that need it the most. The Biden administration previously announced it would deliver 500 million free rapid at-home tests to US citizens. And while the news was originally celebrated, there are concerns those tests won't arrive in the peak of the Omicron outbreak. Peter Doocy questions Jen Psaki, asking if the CDC's guidelines illustrates that if you're symptomatic, you have to stay at home. Well, where are the rapid antigen tests? Ms. Psaki was also probed on whether she can admit the at-home kits won't arrive until after the Omicron surge is over.
The CDC's guidance is if you think you have COVID, you're supposed to stay home. You guys said you were going to mail free tests to people that need them. The president's there on television talking about a winter of severe illness and death. While he's saying that publicly, why weren't you guys doing more to prepare for the winter?
Well, Peter, everyone decides where they're going to go get a test, and we make a range of options available. You can also purchase tests online. Later today, we'll have more details on how 150 million Americans who have health insurance can get reimbursed for tests. So we'll have more details on that later. The 500 million tests I noted, and I gave you a little bit of an update on the timeline. We'll have more on the website later this week. So our steps and our process from the beginning has been expanding access to free tests to make it easy and more accessible for Americans, and we're continuing to build on what we've done to date.
But the president talked about a winter of severe illness and death. At the rate you guys are going, these tests are not going to be available until spring. So will you admit that these free tests you guys promised are not going to be ready until after the Omicron surge?
I think I gave an update earlier that we'll start to have tests out the door in the coming weeks very soon.
Okay.
And again, that's not the only place people can get tests. There are a range of ways people can get tests.